Thanks for replying to my email, and here's this video. Again, my name's RJ Gibson, and I just wanted to point out a couple things relative to your website and a couple of the competitors for fencing in the Dayton area. First of all, just to briefly review this, so fencing Dayton, Ohio is one of the more popular keywords or search phrases for fencing. And there's three aspects to this search result page that people get in Google. There's sometimes Google ads or AdWords at the top, and here in this case they're just at the bottom, but these are companies paying for clicks. So their ad appears and they get charged if I would click on this. It's no guarantee of a phone call, no guarantee of customer buying. All there is a guarantee that I'll visit their website by clicking. And oftentimes you'll see those ads at the top and the bottom. The second aspect of this search result page is the map 3-pack. There will always be three companies in here, and they're in this map pack for a couple reasons. One, they check all the blocks or most of the blocks for Google when it comes to this keyword, fencing Dayton, Ohio, and they also have proximity to the searcher, which is me in this case. So these are kind of within an 8 to 10 mile radius that also meet all Google's criteria for this keyword. And the third aspect of this search result page are the 10 websites listed here. There will always be 10, not counting the ads. And again, these are websites that meet Google's criteria, or these provide a good authoritative source for this keyword, fencing Dayton, Ohio. And as you can see, there's not only local brands, but there's these national lead services such as Angie's and Home Advisor as well. So you want to be here and here, and they're not mutually exclusive, but your website can show up both in the map pack and this organic listing here. Obviously, the higher up, the better. So in looking at your website, there's three things that I wanted to point out that help a website perform better and generate calls and business for a company. Number one is content. And you have a decent amount of content. Generally, we like to see 1,000 or almost 2,000 words on the home page. And by way of comparison with Dalton, whose website seems to be performing a little better, you certainly have them beat out when it comes to content. Not only on the home page, but we like to see service pages have at least 500 words of content. So you could improve your website by adding to the content. And the reason content's important is because Google's like a person. Their bots or their algorithms that search websites, they read just like a human does. And so in order for Google to understand what your website's all about, you have to have words that describe the services and products that you sell, so they can see or they can read what your website's all about and then show you for relevant search terms. The other thing Google reads are these photos. There's metadata or tags or information behind these photos. For example, if I go save as on that photo, the photo name is DRS Photo 2. These photos should be named and tagged with relevant information, relevant specifically the keywords that people search for. So that's another thing Google reads, and obviously it looks like you can improve how these photos are tagged as well. The second thing that might help improve your website, which quite frankly was a little bit of a mystery to me until I dug into it, is this thing called backlinks. And backlinks, oh, by the way, this is a tool I use that kind of looks behind the scenes at websites in terms of the metrics that Google uses to rank your website for relevant search terms. But going back to backlinks, these are links from other websites to your website. As you can see, you have 332, and Bellbrook Fence, or I'm sorry, I had Dalton up here, but Bellbrook only has, Dalton, excuse me, has only 11. So on the surface, you certainly look like you're beating Dalton, and we'd have to look at the other competitors. But it's not only a quantity game, it's also a quality game, meaning the websites that link to your website have to be both of quality and authority and relevant to your product and services, in this case, fencing and decks. So we'd have to dig into the source of these backlinks to make sure they're relevant, and if some of them aren't, then you'd want to go out and try to find other websites that would link to your website. The other thing on this screen is keywords that you're ranking for. And here you're ranking for almost 800, and Dalton is ranking for only 28. And that really perplexed me for a moment, because on the surface, you would think you would really be outperforming Dalton's website, given that you're ranking for so many more keywords. Keywords is synonymous with search phrases that people search for. But if I look at Dalton and I look at what keywords they're ranking for, you see, well, they're ranking for their brand, which every company should rank for their brand, obviously. But then they're ranking for fence installation, Dayton, Ohio, fencing, Dayton, Ohio, fence companies, Dayton, Ohio, et cetera, et cetera. So that all makes sense, because that's what they do, and that's where they want their website to show up when people search for that. But if I look at the keywords you're ranking for, this is where I think you have a problem. You're ranking for deck renewal systems, deck and fence renewal systems, Sherwin-Williams deck paint color, and you can just see down the list, you're really not ranking for fencing, Dayton, Ohio, fence, Dayton, Ohio, fence, Dayton. Most of the keywords that your customers are likely searching for, or prospective customers are searching for. And by way of an example, fence installation Dayton, there's 100 searches a month. Fencing Dayton, Ohio, there's 150 searches a month. Fence companies, there's Dayton, Ohio, there's 200. And I don't see where you're ranking for those keywords at all. And why you're ranking for all this stain and paint color, I'm not sure. But it's obviously Google has picked up from your website these keywords, and you're ranking for them. Matter of fact, you're ranking very high, as you can see in this column. But unfortunately, your customers, chances are, aren't searching for that. And I'm specifically referring to fence installation. So what would help you rank for that is to have content on your website that describes fence, well, basically talks about your services in terms of these keywords. And then the other thing is backlinks that refer to your company doing these services would help as well. So I think that's certainly a major area that you'll want to address on your website, assuming you want to rank for these keywords, and I assume you do. So that's the second thing, is backlinks and then these keywords. And the third thing are local citations. So this is another tool that helps me identify local citations, and local citations are nothing more than directory websites, such as Yellow Pages, White Pages, Foursquare, even Yelp, Home Advisor, and Facebook count as citations. And a citation or a directory listing is nothing more than your business name, address, and phone number. And so you can see here you have 39 sources, 39 directory or citation listings, and these three competitors have about the same amount. One outranks you with 42, Bellbrook, and the other two you beat out. But it's important to have as many of these directory listings and citations as possible, so that your brand and your name, address, phone number is more recognized to Google than any other competitor in the local fencing and deck market. So in summary, you do have content, and probably more content than most of your competitors, but for whatever reason, the content's not ranking. You're not ranking for the keywords that I think you want to rank for relative to fence and fence installation and fence company, Dayton, Ohio, et cetera, et cetera. So you would want to adjust your content, add to your content to rank for those keywords. Then you'd want to look at your backlinks and see if you could get links from other websites relative to those keywords. And then thirdly, back to the citations, you'd want to add additional citations to even further outrank your customers. So hopefully that's been helpful. I appreciate you taking your time to watch this video, and if there's anything I can do to help, again, my name is Rob Gibson, and I'll have my contact information in the email. Thank you. Bye.